All right, good evening, gang. Thanks for joining me. Hope you had a great trading week. I know it was tough. It's a tricky week. It's been choppy. It's going to be choppy for the foreseeable future. I mean, it's what it is. It is what it is. So just we'll deal with it as is. Um, but I just wanted to break down a couple of my favorite trades of the week, specifically my one today on Tesla. I don't trade Tesla that often, but I wanted to break these down just because they were simple and you could kind of clearly see define where you can kind of come in, can come out, which is great for newer traders, any trader really, but especially for newer traders. But also I like these, of course, they were lucrative, but even more so, they just kind of followed the plan that I had set out, right? The execution was almost more rewarding than the money. Not really. I said almost, all right? Money's paramount here in this game, right? We wouldn't do it if it wasn't for that. I know we always talk about everything else because you don't want to get distracted by that. I get that. You don't want to have these dollar amount levels and these goals. You want to expect nothing and be humble, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we're trying to make money here. So the execution of this was exciting. So let me pull up my screen share here on Tesla. Here we go. And again, I don't trade Tesla that often. Obviously I own it in my long-term portfolio, but I don't trade options on it that often. So here I have, this is a 5-minute chart over the last couple of days. And just looking at it from a broad view on this 5-minute, you can see a trend. You see big dips and it getting bought up, right? Over the last 2 days. Excuse me. And so on this chart, I have hourly levels with these blue lines, and then supply and demand zones in purple and yellow. Purple for the 15-minute, hourlies are going to be in the yellow, right? And so you can kind of see, too, how this is just playing off these levels, too. You see Tesla kind of bouncing between these. And again, we talk about how the longer the time frame, the stronger the reaction to the zone. This is an hourly zone. This is a 15-minute zone. Look at the reaction here. A good reaction, for sure. Great. Came right out of the zone. Bounced right out of a 15-minute zone. Would have been an amazing trade. I think I made money on this one going down, actually. But I didn't take the call back up. But over here, same thing. Hits the hourly, but look how much bigger this spike up was from the hourly. Longer time frame, bigger reaction. So cool to see that. Cool to see that playing out. But let's break down why I took this trade exactly. Let's go to the 15-minute too. We can kind of just find these zones too. People kind of want to see how I find these zones. So here I kind of had one. It's probably annoying on the screen share right now. But you can kind of see right here. This red candle came in and we switched. You want to see where the trend changes. Where is it going from? Where is it consolidating, then breaking out? That's where we're finding these zones, right? Where is it consolidating, then breaking out to the upside or the downside? So here it was consolidating and then broke out big time. So we've tracked that zone, drag it across. And look, here it played out. Boom. Hourly, where did I find this one? Let's not look at the hourly. Let's see it stay on the 15-minute. Again, 15-minute, big run up here, consolidation. And we see kind of the supply zone, all the supply right up here. So I just took this candle and used this one to do the supply across the top here. So let's look at the hourly. Kind of a similar thing. Zoom in. See, small one right here. And then small one down here. Bam. This one right here. Just kind of showing you how I found those. Now let's go back over to the 15. Bam, bam. And look at, let's look at today's action actually on the 5-minute. Let's look at today's trade. This trade went over a couple 100%. I closed it fully at 100% trade, at 100% gain. So we're looking at Tesla. It's been having a lot of swings, obviously. And just looking at these zones. So we had yesterday closing up here above the supply zone between 122, 124 area. I know a lot of folks in the counter trades Discord were swinging puts going into today, and they all paid because they sold them right here, making a nice gain. But again, being patient this morning, seeing how things waited out the first few minutes of the day, first 10, 15, 20, kind of coming into here. This is where I was looking for some action, was down in this demand zone here as Tesla came into this hourly demand zone as well as looking at. So I bought in this red candle here. Hate that this pops up, by the way. It's fucking annoying. This dumb shit right here. So I came down into this. I don't know why it does that. Whatever. Here it was. I know I can fix it. Bam. Let's do this. Okay. So as Tesla was coming down, we had a level here at 116.08, and then the bottom of the zone was 115.73. So right on those 116, right as it dipped below 116, I bought 116 calls, right? So it dipped right below, took that price, and then my out was going to be any 5-minute candle close below this 115. Willing to risk up to 20-30%. Hopefully that candle didn't go crazy and go like this. That can happen, obviously. But I was willing to risk, 20-30% as you normally would. And around here, any close in this area, I'd be out of the trade. So you're not risking a lot, right? I came in right here, I'm risking like $1, 50 cents even, maybe even less. And then thinking like, okay, well, what if we get back to the open, which is here? That's still a great trade. That's still a great trade right here. And then I was like, okay, well, what if we get back above, what if we gap fill to from yesterday? That's kind of what I was thinking. So what if we just fill the gap all the way up? And we didn't. We got close. We got damn close by the end of the day. And I was thinking, like, if we gap fill and hit the supply zone, like, we kind of have free reign to go all the way up to the supply zone and fill this gap. So, and thinking again, coming into this trade, thinking like, well, if I come in here and if I'm wrong, I'm out right here. Because again, if you're trading these supply and demand zones, anytime, if you're trying to buy a call up, anytime it dips below this demand and it closes out, you're out of the trade, right? But if you're right, boom, look what can happen. So risk reward, low risk, great reward here. So taking this trade, risking $1, and then thinking, okay, I'll just hold it. And then as it goes up, I just keep raising my stop losses all day until, and I believe I was on the Twitter Spaces with the Counter Trades group this morning. And I know Candlestick Nick, the VP gap maestro. I mean, the kid's insane with VP gaps. I was chatting with him, and he was saying how Tesla was about to hit a VP gap at 120.70. And it hit it pretty much right on, and that's where I sold my last one. And then it kind of came down. And again, the price kept going up the rest of the day, but since it was Friday and doing 0-day, I was doing 0-day contracts. You don't really have a lot of time. This was the time to get out. You made your money quick, great percentage gain, get out, because your fade is going to kill you the rest of the day. It's a 0-day contract, so if you're not right quick, the contract you get burned by premium. So. Yeah, it would have got back to up here and higher, but the money wouldn't have been that much better, if at all. So you're good just to get out here, which I did. But just to show you how great those zones work, another trade I took, wanted to point out, kind of using Apple, similar yesterday, didn't do it today, but similar thing on Apple, did the same thing. Dipped out of this, again, supply kind of turning into demand, which is kind of what happened here a little bit. So this I kind of identify as a no trade zone. When you come to these zones, you just don't trade. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take any trades in here. I'll kind of wait, see how it plays out of the zone, or if it comes back in it. This one, when it came back in it, and I was looking at VWAP too. This white line here is VWAP through this zone. I was looking at VWAP as well. So as it kind of kept testing and breaking, it kept going below. I was like, okay, it keeps it's holding price, higher lows, higher highs. And so as it came into the zone and kind of got right about into here, this dip midway through the zone, I got calls in here, and bam. I think I ended up closing this trade for like a 50% overall trade, but went up to 80%. The highest runners were 80%. So just a great way of showing that zone, buying the pullbacks, using the VWAP, using the price action. I'll be doing this more and more and trying to throw more of these reviews in here. So hopefully that was helpful. And yeah, we'll do our regular weekly video on Sunday night for what I'm looking at for the week, do a weekly analysis. But definitely gonna do more trade reviews because they're helpful for me, not just for for you guys. So there you go, have at it, enjoy. Hopefully that helped in some way. All right, I'm out of here. Have a good day. Good weekend. There you go.